Well, I was like, what's Donggang? And he was like, it's a seaside town, it's by the sea, it's near Kending. And I was like, well, that sounds nice. I was like, it's like I can go to the beach and things. I was like, it's maybe like California or something.
Yeah.
And there was fish tanks. And I was like, why? Maybe they like fish. And then, why do they have so many fish? And then the guy came over and he could speak English and he told me, no, you choose what you want to eat and we'll catch it for you and cook it. I was like, what, really? He said, yeah. And so like I'm waiting there for ages, you know, and she's like, and I'm like, someone's ordering a lot of coffees here. Like, who bought so many coffees? And then she's like, hey, 先生你咖啡好了? And I was like, oh, yo. And then,
hello everyone, Amada is here, and today I have a special guest who come from one island in Europe to another island far away here in Taiwan. And he traveled 40 countries, but somehow he ended up here, and let's find out why he did it and what's he doing. And let's say hello to Robert.
Hello everyone. Yes, my name's Robert Michael Jackson. I come from England, but now I live in Taiwan.
So why do you live in Taiwan?
Well, that's a good question. I came to Taiwan about 6 years ago.
Okay.
Just to visit. After leaving Australia, I was just visiting Taiwan. And I was just in Taipei, and I went to Hualien and a few other places. And then after a short time, I went back to England, and I was at that time quite just set on staying in England and starting life there. But I came back to Taiwan for another little trip because I wanted a holiday. At that time, I brought my dad with me.
All right.
He had a great time, and he went home, and I didn't. I was working for a friend's company, so I just said, you know, don't expect me back anytime soon. If I come back, I'll give you a call. And he knew my situation. I like traveling, so he said, okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Give me a call if you come back. I didn't go back.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Was he upset?
No. He moved to Thailand.
He moved to Thailand?
Yeah.
Was he looking for you in Thailand?
I think he might have been, yeah. I still get people asking me, how's Thailand? I studied Taiwanese first.
All right.
Yeah, because I went to Pingdong.
Yeah.
And then I lived in Pingdong, and then everyone...
So the first place you live in Taiwan was Pingdong.
Yeah, in Donggang.
That is quite extreme. I mean, like Pingdong is like the real Taiwan,
It's
countryside.
That's Taiwan.
Like, real like Taiwan.
Yeah, that's
like
Taiwan, yeah.
So I guess you don't miss the fish and chips.
Not so much.
Mama's cooking.
My mom's pretty bad at cooking, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Mom. My grandma's good at cooking.
All right.
Yeah, I miss my grandma makes nice traditional English food, and I used to ask my mom, I said, Mom, why are you so bad at cooking?
Do you ever get like this
said, I'm too busy.
blood sausage?
Yeah, we have like a blood sausage.
Yeah, so that's why you stay in
Black
Taiwan.
pudding.
Yeah.
And white pudding as well.
Yeah.
In Ireland they have white pudding. It's not a pudding though. It's you lived in England. Yeah, I love it. It's delicious.
What's your go-to food now in
I
Taiwan?
I love to eat seafood.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm in a great place. And,
Yeah.
and in England, as you probably know, seafood is really expensive.
Yeah.
And obviously we're in the North Sea, so the fish that you can get is obviously different.
Yeah.
Now in Taiwan you can get salmon and tuna, especially in Donggang, and it's so cheap.
Lots of tuna.
I mean, so I like to eat seafood and fish and things. Yeah, I like Asian food actually.
Yeah, I love like sushi.
Yeah, sushi's delicious. English food is bad.
Yeah, there are some nice things.
There's some nice things, but it's not so convenient. You can't just go to a restaurant anywhere.
Yeah, like what is really killing me, like, you know, like, I mean, it's really like also like the food is more affordable here because like, but the point is like, when I used to work in England, and I'm supposed to reveal the secrets of the company I work, but most of the food like they serve you is actually frozen.
Yeah, it's frozen, yeah.
And like they like just unfreeze it, put it to micro oven, hot water, and they serve it to you. Looks nice.
It looks nice, but it's
surroundings
frozen.
are beautiful, you know. You're like in a pub which is like 200 years old.
Yeah, but it's frozen.
It's a frozen food, you know. It tastes good with you if you pour it with the beer.
Yeah,
like after third beer, like no taste difference.
Yeah,
but
mostly
the thing is, this doesn't happen in Taiwan, you know.
No, they really make the food. Yeah. But people
even like you go like
that.
60 and tea Taofan, like in front of you, you know.
Yeah,
the fire, there's a smell.
Yeah.
And the food appears real.
yeah, it's got a real flavor.
I love the option, like you can go to Donggan or like any other market, and like you first pick the fish, and then you go to
and then they can cook
you
it
go
for
to
you,
restaurant and like you cook it for me.
Yeah, it's
so cool.
It's fascinating. When I was traveling in Malaysia, I went to a restaurant and there was fish tanks And I was like, why? Maybe they like fish. And then, why do they have so many fish? And then the guy came over and he could speak English and he told me, no, you choose what you want to eat and we'll catch it for you and cook it. I was like, what, really? He said, yeah. So if you want shrimps or fish, you just choose and then we'll catch it. And then they cooked it. I was like, wow.
Apart from the seafood, what else you like to eat?
I used to always eat oaten.
Okay.
Yeah, always. In the night market, I used to always eat them.
But that's the seafood still, no?
Yeah,
it's
inside
omelette.
it has, yeah.
Back in the day, when you used to live in Pingdong,
Yeah.
it is not very common to
No,
see.
I was the only foreigner in Pingdong, in Donggang at the time.
Really?
Yeah.
So did you have any funny encounters?
Like every day, my life was a funny encounter every day. So I started to learn Taiwanese. So I go to the market and like speak Taiwanese to people, and they're like surprised that there's a foreigner coming here.
No, it's a double surprise.
Yeah, the first they see a foreigner and they're like,
yeah.
and then I start to speak to them in Taiwanese, and then they're like nearly passing out or something.
Yeah.
So like every day was a surprise. It was kind of exciting as well. Like I saw things in Pingdong that I don't think you'd see in other places.
Example.
There was like the balloon guy that used to come around.
Okay.
He used to sell balloons. But with helium.
He was like blowing them.
No, they had helium.
Okay.
But there were like 100 tied to his scooter, and he was an old guy, but like he couldn't see because they were all around him, and he was driving. He's like, yeah, scooter along, and he kept having to like move the balloons.
Swimming.
Yeah, it's like he's swimming, so he could see. And he used to come past my house every day. And another thing, the fireworks in Donggang,
those are crazy.
All the time, and there's like 100 temples there, so there would be like temple activities happening every day.
Yeah.
And like suddenly it's like early in the morning, there would be like pa 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 pa, and I'd be, oh.
I was on a ferry to Xiaoliuqiu and I saw gods going on.
Yeah,
it's completely normal there.
Yeah, it's normal there to take the gods around the island.
Yeah, they visit. Gods visit like one temple to another.
Temples,
they have a deal, and like this month, like we visit you, and the next time the god comes
he
back
comes to us
with the whole team of this is so cool.
Yeah.
It's like a football game, but no violence.
But yeah, just visiting temples. So that's popular. Like temple activities big there. Yeah. So that was fascinating. Like living in Pingdong was great, and I could go to like to the mountains in Pingdong to go mountain climbing and go to Kending. But then afterwards, I started to study at Zhongshan University.
Yeah.
And so then I would drive every day from Donggang to Kaohsiung to Shiziwan.
Yeah.
That was pretty wild.
This is such a cool university.
Yeah. That's why I chose it, because it's such a beautiful place. But like going from Donggang to there is like
1 hour.
Yeah. It's like driving really fast
between the trucks.
Yeah, and that road's a bit scary when you go past like China Steel. This road here.
Once you turn left there.
Yeah. That's every day back and forth was scary. So eventually I moved to Kaohsiung.
So how did you stay in like Donggang? Like why did you stay there first?
I don't know, because I was just visiting, and then I thought I would like to try English teaching.
Okay.
So I was looking in Taipei, but I didn't have experience in this. And then someone contacted me on the internet and said, we have a job in Donggang.
And so why not?
Well, I was like, what's Donggang? And he was like, it's a seaside town, it's by the sea, it's near Kending. And I was like, well, that sounds nice. I was like, it's like I can go to the beach and things. I was like, it's maybe like California or something.
Yeah.
And he was like,
yeah,
it's near Kending. So I got the high-speed train down to Kaohsiung. And then I met the boss, and she drove me there. And I remember at that time I saw the mountains, the mountain there, and I was like, "Oh, this looks beautiful." She's like, "Yeah, you can go to Kending, and there's some water activities." It was nighttime; I couldn't see anything, and I was like, "Oh, it's okay." And then she was like, "Can you start the job soon?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can start right away, like the day after tomorrow." So I went back that night to Taipei on the high speed. I got my stuff, and then the next day I came back to Kaohsiung.
You move in?
Yeah, I just moved into Donggang.
That is so cool.
And I was just there.
No, but it's, actually, I kind of like envy you this, because like if you live in Taipei or in Kaohsiung or in Taichung, those are huge cities. You have Costco,
Yeah.
Like it's like you want to learn to swim, you jump on the deep water, you know.
You just go inside.
And if you live in a Kaohsiung, you still have like all the Western foods. You know, you have cod food here.
This was different in Donggang, but it was a real Taiwanese experience actually.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I had a lot of fun there.
No, I love it. It sounds so good. No nightclubs, but
no, nothing. Karaoke only.
Yeah.
One time I remember I was visiting Kaohsiung, and I basically just got the numbers under control then. And I stayed at this person's house, like an Airbnb. So I said, "Do you need a coffee?" And they were like, "Yeah." So I quickly practiced like how many coffees, and I wanted 4 coffees. So I was like, 4杯咖啡. I was like, okay, I got it. I can remember this. So I go up to the coffee shop, and not the coffee shop, the Family Mart.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, my tone must have gone up, you know. I'm like, 4杯咖啡. And she's like, oh, 10 coffees. She's like, 4杯吗? I was like, yeah. So like I'm waiting there for ages, you know, and she's like, and I'm like, someone's ordering a lot of coffees here. Like, who bought so many coffees? And then she's like, hey, 先生你咖啡好了? And I was like, oh, yo. And then, but I felt so silly that I didn't want to tell her. And I was like, okay, thank you. And then I go back. And then when I got back to the house, she looked at me. She's like, you said something wrong. Yeah. That was a common daily occurrence.
You know what my mom did? She was like staying like when she was here for my wedding, she was staying at my parents-in-law place. So like one day we took him to his place next door, and like, well, you can buy like breakfast, so you can like point out the menu or something they'll give you, you know. So then the next day, I can go myself, you know. So we come back home and like, why there is like, you know, so many burgers here, you know. She's like, I want 2.
Oh,
and then she got
7.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
And ordering dumplings is always very funny, you know.
Yeah, like you have to count how many you want.
Yeah, and then they think you want to sleep or something, you know, because I kept saying like 睡觉. And she's like, it's not a hotel.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
And then they know. So yeah, there's been a lot of mistakes with this.
I started like learning, you know, a little Taiwanese. I was like buying something, and my wife was like behind me, like she was like, you know, about to get in, and she wanted to buy something. So I finished my shopping, but like I was about to pay, and she was between. So I look at the lady, I learned how to say this in Chinese, in Taiwanese. 秀蛋起来. And then the lady looks like, huh? 需要袋子吗? For me, like Taiwan has like lots of cute things. Like we were talking before, you know, like the politicians, they have like anime face. You know, like the previous mayor of Kaohsiung with the Shiba Inu next to him.
Yeah.
So that's lots of cute things. But like from learning Chinese, one of the cutest things is like, you know, there is a city in the north. It's called Taipei. Okay, that's Taipei. And what does it mean? Tai, like Taiwan, and north.
It makes sense. Yeah.
And there is a city in the south of Taiwan, and it's called Tainan. And what is this? It's Tainan. Oh, no. I guess it means south?
Yeah.
And there's one city between them. No way. And how is it called? Taichung. Zhong, like the middle. You kidding me? Yes, it is.
Right in the middle.
So yeah, so I visit 3 of them. Then I found out there's Taidong in the east. I visited the last one. But there is still one missing.
No.
Yeah,
Where?
there is. It's Taishi.
Where?
No, I don't know. Have you been there?
No.
There is a city called Taishi, and maybe audience know about this, so let him know how to get there so you can do the haul.
I've never been there.
No way.
I feel disappointed now.
Yeah. So yeah, you're expecting a baby, so what's your feelings?
I don't know. I've come here to ask you for help, actually.
Really?
Yeah. How's that working
First
out?
of all, like, you need coffee, and then you need more coffee, and then you need even more coffee.
Yeah.
And then it's okay.
But I'm digressing. So, but you like being a father. You seem to be enjoying that.
Yeah, it's fun. It's you know, the thing is, you know, like once you know, like as a human, right? You're born, you go to school, you graduate, you get a job, you get married, and then that's it, you know. Like, I mean,
you
and then it's like exactly, you know. So at least this way, you kind of extend, you know. Obviously, you can have your passions and stuff, but there is something that is growing next to you, and maybe, you know, she's gonna go to school one day, and you're gonna celebrate those things again, but from different perspective, you know. So I think it's like more interesting. This is like.
That's the point I was going to talk about.
Yeah.
Your child will go to school in Taiwan.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on the educational system?
Or
any like concerns, because obviously it's different to a European style of education.
I think it's a good thing to learn from both.
Yeah.
Because whatever is there. I mean, I don't I never went through school. Like I never went to school in Taiwan. I studied Chinese myself. So I never have like really experience to see how it works from inside. I know one American school.
Yeah.
But that's probably, they have different ways of teaching, I guess.
Yeah.
And I know Taiwan has a good thing, like I like the discipline here. I like the politeness, and kids respect teachers in general.
Yeah.
Which is not a thing in the West, like it's kind of different.
Not these days. Yeah.
So there are lots of good things, but like I also think, like if it's your kid, you educate your kids by talking to them every day, spending time together, doing things together.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good thing to have this blend from different cultures at the same time, because I think world is going this direction. Like you have maybe 50 years ago everything was between Atlantic Ocean, and now things moving to the East Asia.
East meets West.
Yeah, so it's like so you need to be prepared for that. Like me, like my parents at home, they don't have chopsticks.
Yeah.
I have both. I have forks. I have chopsticks.
Yeah.
You have to get ready for everything, because things are gonna mix. Your Chinese skills in Taiwanese are pretty impressive,
Yeah.
So if somebody's watching it here, trying to learn languages, or trying to go to the new places, do you have anything to say to them?
Oh,
to
yeah.
encourage them?
Oh yeah.
Is it worth it?
Worth what? Learning a language?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure it's worth learning a language. Like you've learned languages as well. So the most important thing I feel when learning a language is to use your ears.
Yeah.
Like textbooks are good and reading things are good and writing things down is good, but you also have to try to integrate and assimilate with the local people and learn how they say things. Yeah. That's not completely, obviously you have to read some books as well, but I also feel listening and using your ears when learning a language is very, very important. Probably the most important thing. Like when a baby is a baby, how do they learn their language? By listening to mom. They absorb things like, oh, mommy, daddy, and they start to learn their language. So I think using that technique is actually quite useful.
Yeah, you really have to go
and it's helped me in Taiwan. I used to go and just hang around places, listen to how they say things. Okay, now I know. And then you really, I feel that way it really sinks into you. Yeah.
Things like a cool moment in your life when you start actually learning language without books anymore.
Yeah.
Like you go, like I don't know, a few days ago, I would like maybe a few weeks ago, we go to restaurants like gong kwai. Oh, gong kwai, gong kwai.
Yeah.
And it's like you start mixing things, but it's really amazing.
I think it's an exciting thing.
Yeah. Like it's finding the puzzles get together there.
But I also think there's when you're learning a language, there's no like real end to it. It's a continuous progress.
The language changes.
You don't know every word in Polish, and you can still learn new words. I don't know every word in English, and I can still learn new words. So learning a new language is just a lifelong process, really. It's not something you can say, I'm just going to get to here and stop. And you have to use it, use it or lose it. Otherwise, you will eventually probably forget some of it.
It is a sad part.
Yeah, it's important to use it and to just continually learn.
So I love this ending. Go out there if you want to learn language, if you want to have some experiences and live exciting life like Dafon lives in Taiwan.